Hello. This is, I believe, almost what we're shooting for my 40th day subbing. This will be 39th, 38th, maybe 40. I don't know, but that's okay. First off, I wanted to talk about what I usually do every day after a lesson or of the sort. I write what the date is, what did I do, worked on, and these will be my lesson plan basically. And then bullet pointed went well or what went well or whatever. And then I go through what went well. My eval is just a very nice way of singing what didn't go well. Evaluation. There we go. Evaluation. Did not mention in some class expectations. Lots of talking. I lost control. Fourth period or fourth grade. Blah 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 blah. And then the last part. To do. To do is basically my. What are you gonna do to make that not happen next time, or cease that, or make it less? So I have remember and prepare specific expectations into my lesson plans. Blah 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 blah. We should all be super super reflective people, because if not, we're just gonna go in the next day and just be all like, yeah, what I did yesterday was fine. Lost control of my fourth grade class. We're all good. We just walk in and just pardon my French, poop all over the day. No. No, it's probably not going to work out like that. Or, I mean, everyone, the more you do something over and over again, you'll get better by default. Because, it's kind of like riding a bike. I say but I know you don't know. Or maybe someone does, but I don't like Like, walking, you're just going to learn to walk better. Or crawl, because you need to get to point A to point B. You need to get paid. You can't get fired. But doing the bare minimum is not... Where am I going with this? Okay, hold up. Oh, great, World of Warcraft is playable. Well, great, that's what I'll... No, I'm just kidding. No, to stream some World of Warcraft. Where was I going? I don't know. This is a pretty weird episode, because last episode I was like, man, I got destroyed Friday. And then here's Tuesday. I'm only talking about Monday, because I don't have any work today. So I didn't do anything for Monday, just spent time with my fiance. And I had K through 5 music, and that was what that was just about, was all that reflective material. I do that, I don't show anybody really, because I like to keep that pretty to myself, but it's pretty important for new teachers to be as reflective as possible. Sometimes you won't even remember. I was done with 5th grade. No. 2nd grade. And I talked to them later, and they're like, hi, Mr. Vai. I'm like, yeah, what up? How's it going? He goes, I had a great time in your class. I was like, what happened? I do not remember. I happen to remember later, but I was like, what happened, child? What happened in that class? Did anyone die? I didn't say that, but yeah. So I did more music. I did a lot better yesterday, in the sense that like I put forth everything. Not that I don't try the other times, but I really tried. Like, I was being observed, tried to be as efficient as possible, as organic as possible, as teachable as possible, learning absorbent from the kids, get them to do everything possible. It went well, and it's seriously because I tried really, really hard to make sure that day was really great. And then I came to myself and I was like, why don't I do that every day? Isn't that the answer to just kind of everything? Why don't I just do it better the next time? Of course, as a high schooler or middle schooler, that can typically work. I'll just do it better next time. But as you get older, there's going to be thousands of things that you need to be aware of. What's that kid doing over there? Why does that kid have his pants down? What's going on over there? Why is he getting up? These two are talking to each other. What's my lesson plan? Where am I even going with this? What is my goal? Have we even started yet? That's 8 things in maybe like 8 seconds, with especially kindergarten. I will say I usually have really tough time with first graders. I did not. I smashed second graders. I destroyed first graders. And then I got destroyed on kindergartners. I was mutilated. They were like, woo! And I was like, no! And, man, it was rough. We had to practice being quiet. I also lost my 4th graders. I was like, man, they were like, why do I gotta do this? I'm like, what do you mean? Wait, why do you have to do this? And as a sub, you don't make these lesson plans. I said, you make these lesson plans. You don't make them. Oh my gosh. And sometimes you're even wondering, what am I even doing with this? What are they learning from this? But as a sub, it is your job to make what they gave you work. Does this work? Or no, it's gonna have to work, because you are in that position to make this into not a memorable lesson, but just a meaningful lesson that'll push them into the next part of their goal to graduating with some competence in music, is basically what K through 5 is. Can they move in beat? Can they move different parts in beat? Can they do different beats with different parts of the legs? Can they go leg, clap, leg, clap? Can they do leg, clap, clap, and do different patterns with their body? Can they sing? Can they match pitch? I feel like my K through 2nd graders are much better than my 3rd through 5ths. But I also think that they have a lot more... You tend to focus more on pitch when they're younger. You're just like, you got it. My name's Mr. Ryan. And they're like, your name's Mr. Ryan. My name's Jocelyn. Her name's Jocelyn. And you just keep going through that stuff for months. Absolute months. If you did that to a 5th grader, they'd probably keel over, or fight you back. There'd be conflict like this. I've been watching a lot of Tim Lautzenberger, Dr. Tim. I've been watching a lot of his stuff lately about leadership, and not in the sense of gotta have positions in your band organization to make sure all the stuff isn't on you, and not that type of leadership, but just as a teacher, how are you giving away to these kids in a way that you're not looking for something back, or you're working in a way that's efficient for them and focusing on them instead of being like, what am I doing? Am I actually doing great? You can worry about that later. That'll be for later. That's what this is for. This is the 15 minutes later after the lesson. You'll worry about that after the 45 minutes of heck that'll happen sometimes. You do it for them. And I see a lot of teachers. Don't get me wrong, I did an episode on this where there were just fantastic teachers that I've worked with. They only cared about just where are the kids at? How can I help them to get them farther? Where should we be, and how should I teach them? What's the deliverance? How am I going to do this? And they're just fantastic. And I've worked with those people too in my student teaching. Putting that into practice I say as a first year, not as, but being a first year, it looks a lot easier when they do it, because they've been doing it like that. But us putting that reflective mindset into our daily routine and trying to be better, it's hard. It's very hard. But it's fun. It's fun to see me grow. It's fun to see other people, your program grow because of it, of you shooting to be better. It's just a lot of fun. A lot of people may not see that. Oh, why did I say that? Why did I say... Oh, I was going to say that some teachers don't do that. Some teachers don't find the reflective process they don't find it very useful. And it is useful. I would argue that it's very useful. If you don't record yourself, and this is just... I am a very kinetic person, so I need to write everything down. I've even, you know what, this is even working on my handwriting. My handwriting can be pretty bad. That is not so bad. My fiance would be like, that's pretty good. It's like a 6 out of 10. Because her handwriting's fantastic. Ooh, we should make an episode about handwriting and about board writing. Anyways, I found myself to be more focused on how's my board writing, is this doing great? I don't have enough energy for that. If I'm going to make this lesson really, really great, I have to be like, whatever my writing style is at this point, that's what's going to be on the board. So boop, 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 whatever. Or even just, how am I speaking? Well, you'll probably feel how you're speaking at the end of the lesson. Are you yelling too much? Probably. Are you using more strategies to yell less? Are you searching for strategy? Are you even just trying? Because those kids will not change unless you are changing yourself. That's the whole point of this reflective process. Is that my fiance? Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna close the door. Oopsie. But the whole point of this reflective process is that you can change so that your kids can actually, if they're not, if they're being little goblins of fiery pits of whatever, then they're only going to change if you change. And I've also seen that a lot, especially in high school when I was talking to my band director, and she was like, well, a lot of programs usually morph into the person that the program's run by. So whoever the top person is, however he is, or she, or they, or whatever, is how the program's going to be run. And if they don't ever change, then this is never going to change. If this is how you've done it, then this is how it's going to happen. Tradition, blah, blah. We can even talk about tradition later, but this is already getting past 12 minutes. So be a reflective person. Let it change you. Let it change it for the good. Don't just be like, you know what, I'm just going to paper this day. Boo. I mean, you might need that some days, but not every day. Reflective. Be great. Be awesome. That's my goal. Like I said, I'm shooting to be better, more better every day instead of what happened Friday. It'll be better. It's going. All right. H2O. Bye.